Good morning and welcome to the School of Investment and Banking support session. My name is Somila Ntinge and I am from the marketing team. Joining me today is David Fenter, who is our head of School of Investment and Banking. But before we get to our speakers for the day, I just want to do a bit of housekeeping. If you notice on the right-hand side of your screen, we have an interactive chat box. Can you say hi, tell us where you're watching from or where you're joining from? We'd love to hear from you. We also have a poll running where if you want us to contact you, kindly vote yes and we'll be in contact. This gives us the right to actually be in contact with you. And we've got an ask a question box. This is where you can post all your questions and we will get to it during our Q&A session. Enjoy the session, and now I'm going to hand over to David to introduce the rest of the crew. Over to you, David.
Thanks so much, Samila. Welcome all. Thanks so much for making the time available to us this morning, and thanks so much for joining us. To begin with, I just want to check now, Samila, if you can share the presentation from your side, and then we can get going. Thanks so much, Samila. There we go, that one, yeah. Thanks so much, Samila. Okay, so you can move to the next slide, Samila. Okay, so welcome to today's support session. To kick things off, I would like to outline the aim of today's session. Today, we plan to provide support and guidance for prospective students in relation to the qualifications available within our school, the admissions and registration process, the articulation paths, and exemptions. We'll also discuss some FAQs and then answer any questions which may have been posted during the session. Let me first begin today's session by introducing our participants. Firstly, I'm David Fenter. I'm the head of school for Mopoc Education School of Investment and Banking. We are joined today by my colleague and our senior program manager in the school, Colin Collison. While I head up the team of academics within the school, Colin heads up the academic support team.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, David, it took a while to get that mic sorted out. But good morning, everybody. Welcome to our potential, our new and our recurring students. Thank you so much for setting this time aside to be with us. And yeah, we're just so thrilled to spend these few moments with you. Thanks, David.
Cool. So as I said, while Colin heads up the team, while I head up the team of academics within the school, Colin heads up the team of academic support. Lastly, but definitely not least, let me also introduce Mzwandile. He is the sales supervisor within our student support team. Mzwa's team ensures that you all get registered and admitted in a timely manner. So that's Mzwa.
Good morning.
So to begin, today Colin and I will be presenting an overview of the undergraduate qualifications offered by our school, which will then be followed by Mzwa, and then we'll round things off again on my side at the end. Samila, you can go to the next slide. So as a means of an overview of our various undergraduate qualifications.
Samila, go back one, please. Thank you.
So, High Certificate in Banking Services is an entry-level higher education qualification designed to equip students with the knowledge and skills required to operate successfully in a range of entry-level positions within an organization that promotes banking services. So the High Certificate is our entry-level qualification on NQF 5. It is equally true that this qualification can augment and enhance students' experience in the banking sector with an industry-specific, fully accredited qualification, which provides elective options, allowing students to tailor their studies to their areas of interest within the banking industry. Colin will speak a little bit further now to the details of the qualification.
Yeah, thanks, David. This is such a critical qualification, David. And in order to meet the admission requirements, all you need is a matriculation certificate with a minimum of 40% in English. The higher certificate comprises of 3 compulsory, and you can choose any 3 elective modules. Students have between 1 to 5 years to complete this qualification. Let's have a look now at the advanced certificate, which is level 6.
Okay, so the advanced certificate in banking services provides, as the name alludes, an advanced path of study designed to build on the basic concepts of banking covered in the previous NQF Level 5 qualification. So this qualification equips students with the knowledge and skills required to operate successfully in a range of junior to middle management roles within a banking services organization. Similar to the higher certificate in banking services, this qualification augments a student's experience in the banking sector with a fully accredited qualification, which provides elective options across a broad range of subject areas within the banking sector, as illustrated in the slide. Colin will speak further to the details of the qualification.
Okay. Yeah, this is such great exposure and growth opportunities with this qualification. Any completed relevant level 5 qualification, such as a certificate within the financial services industry, will meet these admission criteria. Students have between 1 to 3 years to complete the advanced certificate. And again, all our qualifications are at your pace. So you will determine how quickly you get through this qualification and you achieve it. It also consists of 3 compulsory and 3 elective modules. So that equates to a total number of 6 modules. So that's for our higher certificate and advanced certificate. We'll now move on to our level 7 BCom and BBA.
Thanks. So the Bachelor of Business Administration, so we have BBAs and BComs with various streams. So on the BBA, there's a banking stream, and on the BCom, there are a few streams. So the Bachelor of Business Administration as a qualification with the major in banking is designed to offer a well-balanced exposure to the knowledge and skills required to operate effectively in a general management environment within a bank. While the difference being that while the BCom provides students with a range of managerial skills in all the main areas of commerce and industry, this degree provides a strong foundation in general business principles and the required accounting, marketing, economic, and quantitative skills. Additional electives are available for people who want to have a need for knowledge in specific areas. So further to that, the Mopoc BCom in investments and banking related streams provides a strong foundation to enable graduates to operate responsibly and successfully in the banking and investment management environment. These qualifications also function as articulation paths into the Mopoc Education postgraduate diplomas in investment management and or banking. So the duration of the bachelor degree qualifications can range from 3 to 9 years. So that's something else to keep in mind. But next, I'll hand over to Colin, who will walk us through the admissions and registration dates.
Okay. Next slide, please, Samila. Thank you. We just want to spend a moment to draw your attention to these very important admission and registration dates. Admission specifically is required to approve entry to the qualification itself. And then the registration phase will allow the student to register for the specific modules. So for pure distance learning intakes, there's a 2-semester model, semester 1 and 2. Admission for semester 1, please apply by the 28th of January and finalize the registrations by the 11th of February. For distance learning online, which is a separate mode of learning, we offer 6 intakes, which we refer to as cycles. Cycle 1 has closed, but the next admission cycle 2, it closes on the 25th of Feb, and the registration closes on the 11th of March. So we really would encourage students to apply sooner rather than later. We can get all the kinks out of the way before the semester starts. And it also allows you to receive your study material much sooner, so you can be more prepared when those assignment deadlines hit. Next slide, please, Samila. All right, so in this section, we just want to spend a moment quickly. We have discussed what our previous admission requirements are, but we are in the business of trying to increase access to higher learning. So applicants who do not meet those previously mentioned admission requirements may still apply for admission via an RPL approach. This is recognition of prior learning. And via this method, Mopoc Education will consider your employment history, acquired skills, and any achieved courses or qualifications that you have under your belt already. Education as a whole is just such a tool for change, and we are very excited that you would even consider these banking related qualifications. So we'd like to help you to get entry as well. So depending on the entry requirements or your RPL consideration, you may start with higher certificate or advanced certificate, or you could go straight into the Bachelor of Commerce, known as BCom. The higher certificate is obviously the fundamental level, and that provides a good foundation if you progress to advanced certificate. But we do offer that variation here at Mopoc. So you can select your modules as much as you can select the specialization as well as the qualification levels. And with both higher certificate and advanced certificate, like David alluded to, you would then progress to your level 7 BCom qualifications. Okay, the bonus and the advantage here is that Mopoc Education offers exemptions onto the BCom. So if you have completed a level 5 or 6 qualification previously, be it with Mopoc or another institution, if those modules align to the modules offered in BCom, then an exemption will be processed, which means you don't have to reattempt those modules. Mopoc will count those modules as relevant completed modules on the BCom qualification. But the specifics of exemption, because there is a criteria, please refer to the exemption policy and the application documentation for that. But there are just lots of choices we wanted to bring to your attention. Okay, next slide, please, Samila. Part of this whole process can be a bit challenging as well. There's lots of information we've shared with you thus far, but the important fact here is that you are not alone in this. So no matter your study goal or the duration you would like to choose, Mopoc offers the support and guidance to assist you during this onboarding process. Our program manager, Babalwa Chalayo, manages the higher certificate and advanced certificate, and Nono Chalane manages the BCom. They are simply an email away if you need to resolve an inquiry promptly. So please reach out to either the program manager or directly to the sales consultant. In a whole, just the team is very excited to share in your study journey. It's a very exciting period for all our potentials and recurring students. So we wish you all of the best in this entire journey. I'm going to hand back over to David, where we can answer some FAQs. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Colin. So I know that a number of you who'll be on the call today will have previously been students with Mopoc. Some of you haven't. So I just wanted to cover three FAQs which often come up. So, and these are the various questions which often arise from new students. So these three questions I'm just going to cover usually are: what resources are required for studying with Mopoc? What are the difference between DLO and DL? for those who don't know, and what types of assessments are offered by Mopoc. So let me briefly answer those before we move on to a presentation by Ms. Wandile in relation to the online admissions and registrations process and how the sales team within student services can support you in your learning journey. So to answer the questions alluded to, what resources are required for studies with Mopoc? Well, a laptop or desktop with camera and mic are required. This is to ensure that you can fully participate in all the aspects of your learning journey, from online access to your study materials, to online sessions with your lecturer when offered, to access your tutor for academic content related queries, as well as to write online proctored exams when required. So that is one of the main resources that one requires when studying with Mopoc. All of the you're provided within that online environment, all of your study material. Every now and again, there is a requirement for you to, on certain modules, to purchase supporting textbooks. If and where those textbooks are required, you will need to purchase those ahead of time. So please, when you do register, keep an eye out for if there are any required textbooks on your particular modules, and you'll be able to find the details for where they can be purchased on our website. Then the next question is, what is the difference between DL and DLO? So distance learning is relatively well understood by most students, though it should be noted that DL students at Mopoc are in a fully online experience. We provide a virtual learning environment which enables students to complete all of their studies on a fully online platform on a semester basis. DLO, on the other hand, is a means of studying which, though also fully online, is completed one module at a time. So DLO is also distinct in that students complete assessments and receive feedback on those assessments on a weekly basis over 8 weeks. They then write their exam on the last day of the 8-week cycle, and then literally the next day they move on to the next module. So that is the distinction between DL and DLO. Please note also that DLO at the undergrad level is only on offer on our bachelor's degrees. My third question that I just want to cover before handing to Mzwa is, what types of assessments are offered by Mopoc? There are various forms of formative and summative assessments offered at Mopoc. Formative assessments typically include online tests, which are usually which will be in the form of MCQs, assignments, and/or participation type assessments. Summative assessments will usually take the form of either an online submission, which are typically project type assessments, where you'll have a few days to complete the assessments, or alternatively, summatives will be online exams, which can either be offered as open book proctored exams or closed book proctored exams. So that is those are the three questions. Now, next, I'd like to hand over to Mzwa to discuss his side of the business, which relates to your support in the admissions and registrations process. Thanks, Mzwa.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much for that wonderful, informative session. And thank you, everyone that has joined us wherever you are. I do see there's many students that we've got, so that's wonderful. And before I proceed, I want to just connect and share my screen and be able to guide you and take you through exactly what it is that we do when it comes to the registration and the administration of your entire information, to make sure that you get the information that you need. So first things first, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to take note of the fact that this entire process that we are in can be quite a troubling process, because you find that most of the time, most students that we do work with are people that would like to be assisted immediately. So I understand you may have sent an email, you may have sent information to your student advisor, and there's a slight delay. All of that is something that you need to take note of as to what happens internally and what is the entire process that takes place at Mopoc in order for you to be successfully registered. So first things first, on the admission process, if you do find yourself getting lost and not knowing what exactly you need to do, you need to then go to our website, which is mopoc.co.ac.za. And of course, you also need to be in touch with our student acquisition advisor. The great thing is that our sales team is available for you to assist you in every possible way that you may need. So firstly, you can then contact us on the number provided, which is 086 999 0001. And of course, press 1 as an option. Once you have done that, ladies and gentlemen, if you've gone through our website, just to take you through the steps that you can visit and follow up on our website. So if you visit our website, you'll realize that there's going to be a description for you. So if you are a new student, it's going to be explaining what exactly does it mean to be a new student, returning as well as continuing student. So let's say, for an example, you've nominated that you are a new student or you are even a returning student. So the page that you're going to see after that is a page that will allow you to conduct an online admission process. So this is where your entire information will be required. So as an example there, we can see it says you need to insert the name of the course that you obviously would like to enroll for, as well as the type of that specific course, and also your identity document. This is quite crucial because for it to proceed to the next stage, you need to provide us that kind of information. Furthermore, on our website, you will also realize that this is the page that you will see. So this is a description of the entire application process. So here we unpack and we outline exactly what it means when you start and you go to our website. This is now on stage 2. So before you even go there, you firstly need to check if you do qualify for that program. And secondly, then after going to our website, you then entirely provide us that proof of payment that you obviously have, the fact that you've paid for that admission, as well as all the way to the entire registration, which is step 5. So all of this information is what you will be seeing on our website. Okay, so I'm going to go slightly in details, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure that you understand what it means when you go into our website and what exactly happens in our background, just for you to be registered at the end of the day. So firstly, you would provide us that information, and your entirely information will be captured there under capturing of the student details. And of course, that information is then carried through to one of the critical departments we have at Mopoc, which is the processing department. Now, what they do is they're responsible to make sure that the information checks out in terms of verification of the entire details we've got. So I just want to also remind you, if you are an existing student of Mopoc, you do not have to worry if maybe, for an example, you branching out into a new qualification after you've completed maybe a higher certificate, for an example. The great thing is that we've got your documents already. If there's any additional documentations, we are going to communicate that with you. Now, coming back to the entire processing department, they will then process the information, send it through to the program manager. Now, this is the department that Colin was highlighting that she is responsible for. And of course, once the program managers have completed, they will then finalize the entire registration. So this means that you should get some sort of communication from us at Mopoc informing you about all of these steps that have taken place. Now, the wonderful factor here is that within everything that we require from you, we do not require you to have certified documentations. So all the documents that we need from you in order for us to process your entire registration, you can just send them as clear copies to make sure that they are readable and for us to be able to try and speed up the process for you. First document would be the identity document, the copy of your ID, marriage certificate. That's only if the surname has been changed. Of course, your matric has to be the minimum required document, as well as other applicable qualifications, signed admission and signed registration form, proof of payment or either bursary letter, study permit if you are a foreign national, as well as a passport as well if you are a foreign national. Now, I'd like to emphasize as well, do remember that if you have studied with us at Mopoc, we do have those documentations. Unless if there's extra documentations that we require, your student advisor will then advise you what documentations are needed. Then we will certainly assist you with all of that information. Okay, so in terms of communicating with us, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to do so. That is my email address that I have provided there. Please, you can copy that down and you can send me an email, or rather ask me any question that you feel free to want to ask. And I'm more than happy to assist you with that. Or you can be in contact with the student advisor that you've been working with the entire time. Our team is dedicated and will be more than happy to assist you on that account. And you can contact us on our number that I have provided again. I will try and put that on our chat box just to make sure that you get that information, as well as our website is included. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this time to thank you for attending the session. I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Somila for her to finalize everything. And then also we will also engage with further questions that all of you have asked. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Zwandile. That was very informative. And thanks to David as well as Colin. Just looking at the ask a question box, and I'll ask everyone to just come up and then maybe we can just tackle those questions that are there. We have about 3 questions that have been posted, and I'll start with this one. How about if one is not a South African national where ID number is required? So I guess the question is, what do you guys do when we have international students? What should they do? I think Zwandile, you can answer that.
Thank you very much, Somila. Okay, so the question is a great question. So on our website, you shouldn't stress, because if you are currently a non-South African citizen, you can then quickly contact our student advisors and be able to speak to them directly. So we do work with a huge number of students that are not in South Africa, so do not panic. We do cater for you, and we'll make sure that even if on our website it says ID number, but internally on our systems, we do cater for passport students that have that information. So you can then make sure that you either send your information directly to the student advisor that you're currently being assisted by, or you contact our contact number so that we can assist you with the registration in that space and the admission. Okay, I hope that answers the question.
Awesome. Thanks, Mzwa.
If I could add one small thing.
Okay.
With our international students or foreign students, if the exam is not written online, there may be a very small fee involved if you need to be venue-based. So please just consider that. But those specifications, you can definitely speak to the sales team as well. Just bring it to their attention so you know in advance. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Colin. And then the next question that we have, I think this is a current student looking to articulate. They're asking about the technical issues with Proctoria. When will those be sorted? So maybe we can first explain what Proctoria is and the reason why we have it for the students that are our potential students, and then address the question.
Okay, that's fun. Thanks, Samila. Okay, so firstly, for those who aren't aware, what is Proctoria? So Proctoria is an online proctoring system, which basically, when one writes your exam online on an exam day, Proctoria works in a fashion where it uses your laptop or computer's camera and mic, so that during the exam session, you will be recorded throughout the session. So that now proctoring can happen just like it would at university, where you'd have an invigilator walking around the classroom, Proctoria is basically just a version of it that it happens online using your camera and mic and artificial intelligence, etc., etc. Now, you can either write proctored closed book or open book exams. So that's what Proctoria is. So it's basically an online invigilator. Now, to answer the question about the issues with which the student is having with Proctoria, I know for the vast majority of students, they have been able to use Proctoria, but I know that for certain students there has been some issues with that. So please, can you please pop me your email address in the chat, and then I'll get hold of you. In fact, I think I'll probably have the email address on the Crowdcast invite. And then we can get I'll get one of the PMs to get hold of you on Monday or Tuesday, just to discuss firstly exactly which issues you had, so we can make sure we sort it all out. Because I can believe that would be frustrating if you do have issues with that.
Sorry. Thank you very much, David. And then we've got another question around registration. Why is the registration process not extended to the end of Feb every year? Some of us are waiting for bursary outcomes in our different organizations or other organs of state which offer bursary in a certain field. So basically, why are we not extending registration?
So we can. No, I can answer that question relatively easily. So unfortunately, because of the time constraints with the semester plans, there is a certain cutoff where we can't wait much longer for semester 1 registrations. The good news is, something to keep in mind is that we throughout the year you can be admitted onto a qualification for the first time for the second semester intake. On the advanced certificate and or the high certificate. Likewise, with the BCom, you can also choose, if you just missed the first semester intake, to potentially register for a DLO cycle 2 if you want to just get going, get your first module, get going in the first semester. So that's 2 options for you. Look, ideally, we would also love to be able to keep our admissions registration first semester open as long as possible. At the moment, our current admissions close is 28 Jan. And registrations is 11 Feb. There's a small chance we can maybe take admissions up until a little bit closer to 11 Feb. But the official close date is 28 Jan. That it would be ideal if we could have it open for longer. But unfortunately, with our timelines with regards to assignments and marking of assignments and getting assignments back before the end of first semester, that's just not possible. Apologies for that. But please, can you also, given that you've actually raised that concern, could you please also drop your email address just in the chat, so I can also get hold of you next week, just to see exactly, just to understand exactly how your funding windows work in your organization. That'd be a huge help to me. So I'm really happy you brought that up. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you very much, David. And we have another one from Luciana. And Luciana is asking, is saying, I lost my matric certificate. However, I provided it for my NQF 5. Now applying for NQF 6. And it is advised I need original again. I have an affidavit, copy of matric certificate, and proof of payment where I paid for the original. What else is needed, please, or will my application be blocked? I posted via post office also to request. Now for the original, it will basically take about 6 to 8 weeks to receive the matric certificate. So what can you guys do to assist Luciana in this regard?
Okay, I can take that one.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Luciana, that's a very good question. And I'm so sorry to see that you've experienced that. So after this session, I would really appreciate if you can pop me just your information, specifically just your email address, or maybe send me, rather preferably send it to my email address. I'll put my email address on the chat box. And then I will be in touch with you after the session just to make sure that I explain the process to you, just to explain the process to everyone. We've kind of made an exception to a certain number of students to say, if you have provided the supporting proof that you have requested your documentation, then we do make an exception at this present moment with all of those documentations. So I'd like to put it out there to the rest of the students currently. There's also been a decision that was made recently yesterday that if currently you do not have your qualification certificate, but you have your statement of results, or you have a letter that is showing that you have completed that qualification, you need to make sure that you just send us that information through. We'll be able to allow you in, and then furthermore, later on during the course of your qualification, we're expecting you to also send us that actual document. Okay, so I hope that answers that question.
Awesome, thanks, Mzwa. And we've got another question. It says, morning, if I did higher certificate at another institution and would like to do an advanced certificate, how many modules do I have to do per semester and per year for DL applicant?
Should I, David? Okay. So within our advanced certificate, we'd consider the modules that you would like to select in order to achieve that qualification. And then from the student side, we have an exemption application form. It's called a CAT form for short, credit accumulation form. So if you could fill that form out, it will also require of you to submit any outcome documents, anything that will show us that this was the curriculum attached to the modules that you had achieved. And then we can then compare it to our current advanced certificate. And a student could be eligible for up to 50% of the credits for that for the new qualification, the Mopoc qualification, if you move over. So if, for example, you've completed a full qualification, we're able to give you 3 exemptions, you would have 3 modules left to do, and you could possibly do that within that 1-year period. We try to encourage students to do 2 modules per semester. 3 modules is really pushing it because distance learning does require a lot of self-study and sacrifice from your part. So please also consider that when you register for your modules.
Yeah, correct. And I mean, especially if you're a working adult, if you're studying full time, then of course you can handle 3 a semester.
Yes.
If you're working adult, then you just need to just see how you space your time on the specific qualifications.
Yeah.
But something else I wanted to also just add there with regards to sorry, Colin, you were saying?
No, I just wanted to take a step back quickly. Often institutions ask students for these documents all the time, and you feel it's quite a tedious process. We are also governed by the Council of Higher Education. So back to the previous question about having to submit your matric certificate again, with every qualification, a student will be asked to do that. But if you have been studying with Mopoc before and you had submitted it before, in the case where you might have lost it, you can just ask us to check on the system if we can pull that as well and we can process, just to quicken it on your side, if it is an internal.
And likewise, as Colin says, when it comes to like exemptions from another institution, if you did a high certificate somewhere else, and there's, let's say you did a module which looks similar to what's a module that's on our qualification, the more information you provide us, the better, so that we can assess whether there truly is a 70% overlap between our modules outcomes and your modules outcomes.
Yeah. We definitely wouldn't want you to repeat the module if it's not necessary.
Awesome. We've got 2 more questions. And it says, my NQF6 certificate was delivered to the wrong address. What is the process to get one reissued, as I will need to apply for further studies?
Okay, we do have a graduation department. So if the student knows dealing, if you could please email graduation@mopoc.ac.za and just notify them of the situation, give them your new address, they'll redirect the certificate If it was delivered to an incorrect address, we may have received it already and we can redirect accordingly. Okay, thank you for that question.
And then I think this is also an important question. Even if I've done some modules through UNISA, will I be credited? I think the question of accreditation it's a very popular question. So maybe we can just explain to Dineo.
That name seems very familiar. I'm not sure if Daneo is a returning student. It's very familiar. But yeah, Daneo, definitely. We will consider all completed modules that you have done with an accredited institution. If it overlaps with our modules, no problem. Give us as much details around those modules, the curriculum, the outcomes, how many credits those modules were, and we will do the overlap and we will credit you, definitely. Okay, just please send it in. You can go onto my Mopoc if you are an existing student to download the application. Alternatively, just send us an email to support@mopoc.ac.za and ask for the exemption application forms. And on that form, we'll stipulate all the criteria, all the documents that's needed, and then we'll process for you. Okay, thank you, Daneo.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Colin. So guys, also remember, if you want us to be in contact with you, please remember to vote on our poll at the bottom of your screen. You will find the poll. Just vote yes if you want us to be in contact, and we will be in contact with you as soon as possible. I think we do not have any more questions, and I think we will try and wrap up right now. If anyone has a question, please post it. Otherwise, I think this is probably the end of our session, unless David, you want to touch a bit on admissions and registration dates.
Yes, I just wanted to remind everyone, just again at the end, just that please remember that the admissions close date is coming closer. So please make sure that you do get hold of us and get going with your registrations and admissions for semester one as soon as possible. Likewise, also, I mean, the registrations are closing soon too. And usually, what we find is there's a huge rush in the last day or two. And then sometimes people, unfortunately, the registration processing is just not possible with huge numbers. We always try our best to make sure that we accommodate everyone, but please do your best to try and get it in early so you can make sure that you save yourself some frustration and get through the registration process quickly. I don't know if you want to add, Colin.
I think we should perhaps mention the payment plan also.
Yes.
So just in case we have students that really would like to study, but you might have a financial hiccup, please also note that there are payment plans that Mopoc will offer. So the tuition, if, for example, your tuition comes out to 6,000, that could be split over 4 payments. So please get in touch with our team as well if that is an alternative or an option that you would like to utilize. As long as the first installment, the 25%, is submitted with your registration, then the rest of the 3 payments can be made over that 5-6 month period up until your results are released. Okay.
That's a very good point. Thanks, Colin. So I think that then covers everything we wanted to cover today, Samila. So I can hand back to you. But thanks. I just want to say, before Samila says goodbye to everyone, I just want to say again, thanks so much for taking the time out on the Saturday, just to meet with us and to hear what we had to say. So really, really appreciate it. And we hope to see a lot of you studying with us this semester. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, David, and thank you to everyone that has attended. And like we always say at Mopoc, we're looking forward to partnering with you on your learning journey. Until next time, bye everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.